Hello and welcome back to the channel. I am CA Shivam Chaurasya and I hope you all are doing very well. So the CA final results were out recently and let me begin by congratulating every student that passed. Congratulations to all the newly qualified chartered accountants. I wish you have a very long and very fruitful and a very good career ahead of you. And as a newly qualified CA myself, let me tell you that it only gets better from here. Life is only gonna get upwards from here. I wish you all the very best for the career that lies ahead of you. However, if you're someone that passed this time, this video is not for you. This video is specifically for the people that did not make it this time. So if you're someone like that and watching this video is specifically for you. I hope the message in this video helps you out. You know, as a person who did not make it this time, you must be at different levels, different places in your journey. I know शुरुआत में काफ़ी confusing लगता है where to start again after a failure. स्ट्रैटेजी समझ नहीं आती है, पर्सपेक्टिव समझ नहीं आता है, बहुत सारे व्हाट इफ्स दिमाग में चल रहे होते हैं एंड आई हैव ट्राइड टू कवर ऑल ऑफ दैट इन दिस वीडियो. So if you're someone like that watching this video and if you're confused, if you want to start again, if you're struggling with strategy or perspective or mindset, I hope this video helps you out. This is exactly what you need. And let me clarify this right off the bat that this is not a mindless empty motivational video. In this video we're gonna cover perspective, we're gonna cover strategy, and I'm gonna end this video with a action plan that you can follow to get out of the place that you are in right now, that will help you to make progress along your journey, and I hope this video helps you out a lot. So let's get started. First of all, right at the beginning of the video, first let's address this elephant in the room. The results are just out and I know it feels terrible. You know, we put months of our efforts into this. We put all that we have into this exam, and I know that when at the end of it you read unsuccessful at the bottom of that screen, it's heartbreaking. It doesn't feel good. It's terrible. And I'm not gonna tell you to just be positive and just get up and get to work and it's gonna be okay and it's gonna be all right and everything is gonna magically fix itself. I know it's terrible. I know it feels really, really bad right now. And this is where I think you should start. Start by accepting that it's okay to feel this way. It's okay to feel terrible. It's okay to feel stuck. It's normal. It's very normal to feel this way. Everyone starts out like that. After a failure, this is like a canon event that you will have in your life. You'll feel lost, you'll feel hopeless, you'll feel bad. But it's okay. Let me tell you and emphasize to you that it only gets better from here. It's only gonna be good for you now. Once you get out of this phase, things will go better. It's going to be terrible right now, but slowly and gradually, once you start taking those steps one by one, you'll realize that you're pulling yourself out of that place and you're leading yourself to somewhere that is better. So once we have that out of the picture, let me begin this video with some perspective. And this is the most important piece of advice that I can give you right now. And I really don't think that you should start with any kind of strategy right now, or you should jump into padhai and you should give like 10-12 hours of padhai right off the bat. I think this is where you should start. You should start with perspective. And I cannot emphasize this thing enough that failure does not equal incompetence. Just because you failed once does not mean that you are incapable of passing this exam. I know there are a lot of what ifs going in your head. तुरंत फेलियर देखने के बाद दिमाग में आता है कि what if I'm not made for this exam, what if I don't have it in me to pass, what if I just can't give the efforts necessary to pass this exam. And let me remind you that right now you're probably if you're struggling with these questions, right now is not the time to be thinking about them. These are the kind of questions you ask yourself when you are thinking level headedly. So if you're in an emotional place right now, these questions are not the way to start. We'll get to them in time. But right now, what you have to do is you have to keep reminding yourself that one failure does not define your potential, your competence, or your worth. You know, 14% result आया है लगभग. That means 86% of the people who sat for the exams failed. और इसका मतलब ये बिल्कुल भी नहीं है कि all of those 86% of the people were incompetent or incapable. कई बार very smart people who put in a lot of effort, who are deserving, do not end up passing for one reason or another. That does not mean that you do not have it in you to pass. It just means that you have hit a setback in your journey. And you know, failing in CA exam, not a big deal. People fail all the damn time, and then they go ahead and pass. Then they go ahead and become CAs, and then they go ahead and have very wonderful, very fruitful careers ahead of them. So I think this is where you should start. This is what will help you get out of that emotional place and set you to a right direction. I think mindset can be your biggest friend, and it can also be your biggest enemy when it comes to picking yourself back again after a failure. So keep reminding yourself again and again and again and again and again that failure does not mean incompetence. You can do it. You'll be able to pick yourself back up. You'll put in the efforts and you will be a CA. Okay. So once you're out of that emotional place, once you're not stuck in those what ifs again and again, once you're thinking in a level headed manner, I think that is when we can move to the next part of our plan. Your first goal should always be to come out of that emotional place, क्योंकि अभी आप ना फोकस कर सकते हैं, ना पढ़ाई कर सकते हैं, ना स्ट्रैटेजाइज कर सकते हैं, कुछ नहीं कर सकते हैं. आपको अभी सिर्फ फोकस करना है उस इमोशनल प्लेस से बाहर आने के लिए. And once you're out of that emotional place is when the second part of our plan kicks in. What you have to do now, once you're not feeling so miserable, so terrible about the results, अब आप जब एक लेवल हेड से सोच पा रहे हैं, आपकी माइंड में थोड़ी सी क्लैरिटी है, दिस इज वेयर आई वॉन्ट यू टू स्टार्ट एक्सप्लोरिंग योर एक्सपीरियंसेस. Now is the time to dive back into the last 6 months and to take a step back and to take a Hawkeye view of क्या हुआ, क्या सही हुआ, क्या गलत हुआ. And you know, at this point of your journey, I have a little thought experiment, or you can say a little exercise that you can try that's gonna help you out later in your journey. At this point of time, I want you to start by asking 3 questions, 3 simple questions. First is that if I get a chance to redo the last 6 months, knowing what I know today, with the experience that I have gained throughout this journey and the exams, what are the things that I will do differently? You know, make a list, jot down all the points that come to your mind. Ki, okay, I will work on, you know, I will work on this part or that. हो सकता है आपको किसी पार्ट में ज़्यादा पोर्शन ऑफ योर टाइम लगाना चाहिए था, ऐसा आपको लगता है लगाना चाहिए था पर आपने नहीं लगाया. स्टार्ट विद दैट, राइट डाउन कि इस पोर्शन पे टाइम ज़्यादा लगाना चाहिए था. स्टार्ट विथ एनीथिंग दैट कम्स टू माइंड. जो भी अगर आपको फिर से वो 6 महीने दोबारा जीने मिलते तो आप क्या अलग करते, मेक अ लिस्ट ऑफ इट. द सेकेंड क्वेश्चन दैट आई वॉन्ट यू आस्किंग राइट नाउ इज, if I get to relive those 3 hours of my paper again, what are the things that I will do differently? Knowing what I do now, how would I have behaved differently? So these can be things like if you struggle with anxiety, if you're someone with जो एग्जाम में बैठते ही डर जाता है, उसकी वजह से मार्क्स और फोकस लूज कर देता है, दिस कैन बी वन पॉइंट इन योर लिस्ट की माई एनजाइटी इज़ वन थिंग दैट आई कैन चेंज इफ आई एम एबल टू. और अगर आपकी स्पीड इज़ वन थिंग तो यू कैन राइट दैट डाउन. और द सीक्वेंस ऑफ अटेम्प्टिंग द क्वेश्चंस इज, if it's one thing that you would like to change about those 3 hours, write those down. And the third list that I want you to make is write the opposite of these two lists. The third list that I want you to make is, what are the things that about my strategy in the last 6 months and in those 3 hours that I would not like to change? What are the things that I would like to keep as they were? जैसे अगर आपको अपनी कंसिस्टेंसी पसंद आई हो, राइट दैट डाउन कि आई लाइक माई कंसिस्टेंसी. इफ गिवन अ चांस टू डू दैट एक्सपीरियंस अगेन, आई वुड नॉट चेंज माई कंसिस्टेंसी. अगर आपको अपना डिसिप्लिन पसंद आया हो तो दैट कैन बी वन पॉइंट. अगर आपको एग्जाम्स में अपना लेवल हेडेडनेस पसंद आई हो तो यू कैन राइट दैट एज अ पॉइंट दैट आई लाइक माई लेवल हेडेडनेस. You know, this will give you a chance to explore your experiences. This will give you a chance to ask yourself कि what went wrong in the last 6 months and what went right in the last 6 months, and this is gonna help you a lot in the journey that you have ahead of you. आगे के 6 महीने you're gonna build on top of these. So once you've done this exercise, next we can move on strategizing. You know, I didn't want to mention strategizing right at the start of this video. There's a reason why I pushed strategy so back in my video, is because it's a big and scary word. You know, at the position that a person is in right after witnessing a failure, strategy starts to feel scary. You know, स्पेशली जब हमने एक बार हमारी स्ट्रैटेजीज को हमारे सामने फेल होते देख लिया है. आई नो इट्स वेरी हार्ड एंड वेरी स्कैरी टू स्टार्ट स्ट्रैटेजाइजिंग अगेन. कई बार नहीं समझ आता है वेयर टू स्टार्ट, and that is why I want you to work on the perspective thing. I want you to first explore and live with your experiences and then come to the strategizing part. And I'm not just gonna tell you to strategize and work on a plan and do this or that. Of course, I'm gonna help you out with this, and that is why I have made you do the 3-question exercise. Because once you have done that exercise without even realizing it, you have laid down the foundation of your strategy. You know, the worst and the most challenging part of a strategy is figuring out where to start, making that base. And once you've done this 3-question exercise, you will have figured out that base without even knowing that you were strategizing all along. You know, this is a very old and very cliche line, but I think this explains strategy in the best way that I have ever found, is that strategy is nothing but a bridge between where you are and where you want to be. There's a point जहाँ आप अभी खड़े हैं and there's a point जहाँ आपको पहुँचना है. Strategizing just bridges this gap. And remember, 3-question exercise में हमने exactly यही points decide करे हैं. The third list about the things that you would not change about your 6-month strategy or your 3-hour strategy will define where you are right now, where you are starting from. And the first 2 lists कि 6 महीने में what would you have done differently, और 3 घंटे में what would you have done differently, that is the person that you want to be, that is the place where you want to reach. तो वंस ये 2 पॉइंट्स आपके लिए क्लियर हो जाते हैं, स्ट्रैटेजाइजिंग बिकम्स ओनली नेचुरल आफ्टर दैट. क्योंकि अब आपको स्ट्रैटेजाइजिंग के लिए कुछ नहीं करना है. ये 3 लिस्ट आपके पास हैं, ये 3 लिस्ट लेके बैठिए, एक एक करके पॉइंट्स जब आप टिक ऑफ करते जाएंगे. यू नो, इट कैन बी, अगर टाइम का प्रॉब्लम है आपको 3 घंटे में, तो द सोल्यूशन कैन बी कि आई विल डू अ लॉट ऑफ रिटन एक्सरसाइज, टाइम्ड रिटन एक्सरसाइज, so that my timing is better. अगर if you're someone who gets scared in the papers और उसकी वजह से आप फंबल कर जाते हैं, mock tests could be a solution for you. So you know, in this manner आपके पास अब points jotted down हैं, one by one start by each point and answer honestly of how you can try to counter that. You have a list of problems, and the third list gives you a list of your strengths. And part of the reason I made you do the third list is also to remind yourself that not everything went wrong. There are a lot of things that also went right in your journey. You nailed a lot of things right the very first time. Of course, a little bit of things went wrong, जिसकी वजह से the result was not that we were hoping for. But it's not a lost endeavor after all. There were some things that you were doing right from day one itself. So you have a list of your strengths, and then you have a list of your weaknesses, and then you can start figuring out one by one how you can use those strengths, those habits, and try to counter all of those problems. And I promise you, once you are done with this list, start से लेके bottom तक, voila, that is your strategy. That is where you begin. अब आपकी 6 महीने की जर्नी आपको क्लियरली दिखनी चालू हो जाती है. आपको क्लियरली समझने आना चालू हो जाता है कि what are the things that you need to be working on, how you will be working on them, or what will be the strengths and the habits that you already have that is gonna help you throughout this journey. So that is exactly how you will make your strategy. Now to the last part of this video, as I promise you, I'll give you an action plan that you can work on. I try to keep the action plan very flexible so that it fits the requirements of all the people that are watching this video, wherever you are in your journey. I hope this action plan works for you. So the plan is simple. It's just a summary of all the learnings that we have taken from this video. First of all, I want you to take some days, take 2-3 days, and just sit with your feelings right now. Just absorb whatever you're feeling. If it feels bad, it's okay. If it feels whatever the feeling that you're having, just live with them. Take these 2 days, 3 days. The point of these 2 days, 3 days should be to absorb whatever you're feeling, and try to ward off all the what if questions that are going to spiral you into a bad place. Take 2 or 3 days to cheer yourself up, to come out of that emotional place, to keep reminding yourself of the perspective that you need to have, of the headspace that you need to be in order to tackle the journey that is ahead of you. And it's gonna be hard, it's gonna take time, of course, but you're gonna be able to do it. Your first step should be to come out of the emotional place into a more level-headed place. Take some time, 2 दिन, 3 दिन, 4 दिन, दोस्तों के साथ घूमने चले जाइए, spend time with your family members, do something that makes you happy. These 2-3 days are just cheering up. पढ़ाई के बारे में टेंशन मत लीजिए. Once you're out of that emotional place, अब आप अगला हफ्ता is gonna be very crucial. Take some time, take about a week, 7 दिन, 8 दिन. Take some time and do all of the strategizing things that I just mentioned. Make all of these 3 lists, analyze them, and I know it's easier said than done. इसीलिए I am giving you a lot of time to do it. लगभग 1 हफ्ता भी ले लीजिए इस काम के लिए तो चलेगा. Try to make rudimentary drafts of that list. Try to work on it. Try different combinations of solutions to these problems. Try brainstorming. This is still not the period when जब आप अपने आप को पढ़ाई में झोंक देंगे. This is still not the period जब आप 10 घंटे 12 घंटे की पढ़ाई करने लगेंगे. Although इस पीरियड में आपकी पढ़ाई स्टार्ट हो जाएगी, you'll start picking up pace in this period, but still this period should be strategy focused. This is the period where you should be focusing on कि आगे के 6 महीने आपके कैसे होने चाहिए, आपको किन चीज़ों पर फोकस करना है, किन चीज़ों पर फोकस नहीं करना है, कौन सी हैबिट्स को पकड़ के रखना है, कौन सी हैबिट्स को चेंज करने की कोशिश करनी है. दिस इज़ व्हाट यू शुड बी फोकसिंग इन दिस डेडिकेटेड वीक ऑफ स्ट्रैटेजाइजिंग. उसके बाद यू कैन वन बाय वन स्टार्ट वर्किंग ऑन द प्लान दैट यू हैव ड्राफ्टेड इन ड्यूरिंग द कोर्स ऑफ दिस वीक. नाउ यू आर इन लेवल हेडेड प्लेस. अब आपका फोकस आपके पास वापस आ चुका है, अब आपके पास एक प्लान है. सो यू ऑल्सो हैव अ मोटिवेशन टू गेट बैक इन टू द गेम. नाउ इज़ द टाइम जब आप लॉन्ग आवर्स लगाने चालू कर सकते हैं. बिल्ड स्लोली, and eventually you'll reach जो भी लॉन्ग आवर्स आप अपनी पढ़ाई में लगाते थे. So this is the time जब आपकी पढ़ाई becomes the main focus. Keep testing your strategies, one strategy, two strategies, and it's okay if your strategy fails. आप एक strategy try करिए, work नहीं करती है, rework it, do it again, rework it, do it again, and this is how the next 6 months are going to be. So start with mindset, start with perspective, try to get out of the emotional place if you are in one. Second, work on the strategy. Follow the steps in this video, make the lists, try checking each problem and writing the solution of them. And once you have a plan for that, start implementing those plans. And of course, some plans are gonna fail, some plans are gonna turn out different than you expected. It's all part of the parcel. Do it, redraft your plan, do it again, rinse, repeat, and that is how you're gonna get to that CA degree that you have hoped and wished and put in so much efforts for. And let me finish this video with this one thought, that in a few years when you're already a chartered accountant, nobody is gonna ask you how many attempts you took, nobody is gonna ask you how that first result felt. They're just gonna ask you how good of a CA you are, and you just have to prove that you can be a damn good chartered accountant. With this, I'll meet you in the next video. Stay tuned. Thank you.